Hey everybody, you're listening to the Hisessions Hawaii podcast where we talk about everything local and beyond. I'm John Yamasato, your host, and joining me today is Mr. Kyle Shimabukuro and Devon Nekoba.
How's it?
Before we begin, let me remind our listeners of all the ways they can stay in touch with the show. There is Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Hisessions. You can go to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts to listen to the podcast. And of course, you can email us at hisessions@yahoo.com. Devon, when they go to Apple Podcasts, what do they do?
Please make sure you give us a rating, 5 stars. If you don't want to give us 5 stars, that's fine, but just don't rate us then.
Yes.
And it really does help because it helps to push our show up.
What
so that
you guys want,
people other than you are actually going to, I don't care.
All right.
If you like 5, you got, that's what everybody says in their little podcast intros.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you'd like to help the show and get more music on our channel, please go to go to patreon.com and donate. There you'll be more involved with the show and help determine who and what is filmed. We have 2 new patrons today.
Thank you.
Now, granted, we did take a little break, so... Yeah.
So are people joining for us to stay off?
I know, I was going to say, maybe there's something to that, but who knows? There's Rudy from California and Eric from Pearl City.
Rudy and Eric.
Thank you so much, you guys, for joining the club.
How close are we again to, how many did you
We're
want?
at 98.
No
so
way.
We need 2 more.
Wow.
Bring 2 more friends in, guys, and we'll make 100.
You can put like $1. Right? They can join Patreon for like $1.
Yeah,
right?
there's a $1.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, $1's good.
$1's easy. All right. Thank you to Kupukupu Landscaping, Landscape Architects. You can call Kevin Yokomura, 808-722-8685 for a free estimate. Man, my eyes are getting so bad just looking at this. It's blurry already. Or you can go to kupukupulandscaping.com. Kevin didn't tell me to stop, so I'm going to keep saying that they are hiring $15 an hour, Kupukupu Landscaping. And of course, you can go to Fort Ruger Market for your food. Just had the poke. The poke bowls to me are the best. The plates are good, but the poke is really good there. It's all fresh. They have good flavors. So
I had a hamachi and pipikala poke bowl.
Yeah.
And they put a little of the salad, the ocean salad in there.
Yeah.
Oh, that was winners. Thanks, guys, for the ad. Appreciate it.
Yeah. You can go to... What did you have?
What?
Your poke bowl today.
Limu poke.
Limu poke?
Salad.
Okay.
It wasn't a seafood salad, bro. Was it seafood salad?
I was man easy.
Yeah, it had like crab and stuff.
I don't know what was. It was honorable. Thank you.
Way to plug the sponsor.
No, for real. I really don't know what that was. I just ordered Limu poke bowl, but then they added something on the side, and I was very pleased and happy.
Okay.
It was excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Of course, you can go to Kumu 94.7 to find Devon. You can go to highlifeclothing.com to find Kyle, and teamyamasato.com to find me. All right. So want to real quickly apologize. We had 2 weeks off.
It's not John's fault.
It is. No, it's not my fault. We had... So we're going to 3 podcasts a month, but we're going to try to add some different kind of content, to get people interested in coming back to the Patreon.
Make it worth your while.
Yeah, to be Patreon friendly, So sorry, but we had 2 weeks off because we had one of our...
Cancellation.
People canceled on us.
Cancellation?
Yeah. And so that kind of put up.
Well,
no,
exactly.
We tried to do
tell them that part. Tell them
yeah,
that
so
part.
we tried to do
you
it.
guys are like all over the place with their volume, man.
Us 3 to make it, entertaining, but we
I
had nothing to talk about.
I thought it was fine. These 2 did not. I got outvoted.
Well, it's a bad podcast when you go, okay, anybody got jokes or what?
Well,
that's when we knew we had to
but that's, within the context of a regular conversation.
We can do a podcast, the 3 of us, but this one just did not.
I didn't think so.
It did not work,
Whatever. I thought you guys would have enjoyed it.
So, anyway, so
I'm just saying.
We should have our regular scheduled podcast. We have some good guests coming on, like our guest today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and it's also a new channel, right, today?
So, yeah, today is going to be the first podcast
on the
new YouTube. It would have been last podcast,
one,
but because we didn't do it, today is the first podcast on the new podcast channel. So, please tell your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel. But if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or any of the other ways to listen to this, you're not going to know what we're talking about because it's only YouTube that changes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, with that, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with Kamaka Fernandez right after this.
kai manahila, kai manahila, kau mai luna.
Oh, and we're back here with Kamaka Fernandez, our guest today. That was the perfect intro. We got to do this more often.
Can you come every week?
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
And being such a good sport with the intro. We kind of didn't plan that at all.
Yeah,
we just kind of pretty much everything with this podcast. So yeah,
Kamaka is a Hawaiian singer songwriter, fluent in Hawaiian. I didn't know that until I did my research coming in from the island of Maui.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Maui are you from?
So mainly Kahului, but I lived on different parts of the island, of course, because of school.
Yeah. My wife is from there, so I have a decent understanding of what's where and stuff like that. But of course, when we go back to visit, I don't get to travel too far. She's from Wailuku, so we basically stay in the general area.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, so I know Kyle has a million questions because he did start to read about your story. And even I don't know too much about your story. I know you've told it many, many times. So is it okay if we go through that again?
Absolutely,
with you?
Yes.
But you're quite a interesting person because you're not originally from here. By the way, I'm adopted too. So we can talk about adoption stories later.
Love that.
But originally from Arkansas.
Yeah, that's correct.
But moved here when you were a baby.
Yeah, I was adopted at 6 weeks old. And so it happened by way of Catholic Charities, actually.
Oh.
So one day, just the deacon of that church just made the announcement there were kids that need to be adopted. There were a few of us already there in Arkansas. And this is, became the heart's desire, as I say, of my mother. Wanting to have children. She couldn't have children naturally. So, of course, the next step was adoption. So they flew her up there. And, the story, she said, she didn't have to go through the hospital or anything like that. As soon as she got to Arkansas, I was already there. She was dealing with the whole lawyer and all of that stuff.
That fast?
And I was already there at their house, that lawyer's house, and then turn around to Maui.
So how old were you at that time?
6 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you're basically, just a little baby.
Exactly. So Hawaii has been all I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
What is your story?
My story was my parents knew my birth mother in some way, not really close, but they knew. So they had already made an agreement before I was born.
Was your mom local then? Are your parents local? Or
yeah.
You mean that?
Wait. My birth parents or my parents?
Well, I know your parents now, but your birth parents.
Birth parents. I don't.
You gotta use the right term, bro.
Yeah. It gets confusing.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
You gotta say birth parents. If you say just parents.
Yeah, your birth parents.
Yeah.
Biological.
I don't know. I know my birth father was not from here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Birth mother I don't think so.
Oh.
But yeah. So at 2 days old, I was already with my parents.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. So and then they're from here, so they've just brought me back.
Wow.
Because they wanted to raise a kid in Hawaii, which many people.
And that was actually a common thing in Hawaii. Usually the firstborn would go to the grandparents or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then there are some that really just don't know their parents at all. Mine was a closed adoption, so I have no connection at all. But
yeah,
it's really
and mine
to hear
is
different stories.
I guess because they knew each other, I could go, but I just haven't. You come here, you live your life, and
you grow in appreciation, right? Just for what you have, how you've been raised.
Yeah. So and what I mean, so tell me a little bit about your parents, because they put you then into Hawaiian immersion school, which was, I'm assuming, a conscious decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's not just send.
They said, "Boy, you Hawaiian now."
Yeah.
We going all in on
no
this.
choice. Yeah.
So both of your parents are Hawaiian.
So my mother is Hawaiian, Chinese, Filipino, chop suey. And then my father is a Portuguese, which is where the Fernandez comes from.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, early on in my life, I was probably about 5 is when they had a divorce, and so my mother raised me pretty much as a single parent thereafter. Okay. But my father from Lanai, mother from Maui, and her siblings were a part of the Hawaiian language schooling.
Oh.
And so they weren't actually able to have that experience of going to Kaiapuni, as we say. And so, it was kind of like that renaissance too as well, where Hawaiian language was just kind of making a comeback. And so they're like, let's put our kids, in the program.
And how did you like that experience? Like, obviously it's really paying off for you in what you do now.
Sure.
But
just a little bit.
As someone who was not born Hawaiian or whatever, coming in, did you feel like, I belong here? And I mean, was it welcoming? And
man, there were all kinds of, when I could understand what the heck was going on, first of all, but for the most part, it was all about acceptance. I mean, you grow a ohana, you grow, those relationships, through the program. But of course, I looked different than anybody else. So of course, I was getting teased, and I looked different. How come your hands is this color on one side and the other? I got questions like that. Curiosity, right? Yeah. Kids, even when I was teaching at Punanaleo, they'll ask me in Hawaiian, "Anakala no kia hako lima me kia," why is your hands like, So I kind of joke around, but I'm not even going to say that joke. I'm not even going to say that joke. But I mean, curiosity at some senses, and just kids being kids, I guess.
So when you entered that school, did you already learn Hawaiian from your mom, or was your mom never spoke Hawaiian to you?
It was very little. I would say preschool really is where I really got to dig in and learn and understand it. But it was very seldomly spoken home.
It's crazy that in our history of this state, at least, there was a time when the indigenous people were not allowed to speak their own language. That's a weird.
Welcome to America takes over where you live.
I know, but
that's kind of how it's been.
I guess
the Indians, the American Indians went.
You should say, welcome to. Anybody takes over where you live. I guess was one of the things they try to break down,
It's
right?
But America's America's one of the worst ones about it. Them and the English. Them and the English, right?
Across the board.
But all the conquering ones. Sorry for the history lesson, but all of the conquering ones. The way that they say that they take over where you live is they got to get at the seed, which
Can you bring that mic a little bit closer to you? Sorry.
But they got to get to the seed. They got to get to the kids, right? So you keep them from having kids. You keep them from speaking their language. It's how you cut them off at the knees for how they continue the whole perpetuation of the culture. And that's one of the cool things about, because Kamaka, when you came in, I was still at FM 100, and I remember seeing you at a gig, and I had that same thing. I was like, oh wait, what's going on? Because it was patently obvious that you were Hawaiian in spirit, and you spoke, olelo. So you spoke the language more than many other people. You understood the music in a way that maybe that I think people were surprised at. But I think if they knew your background, they go, oh, okay. Yeah. Because even in Hawaiian culture, there's such a history of Hawaiians. You hanai somebody. Yeah. You bring them into your family, and you say, "You one of us now." And a guy I work with, Chris Stiles, who's the biggest Filipino human I've ever met in my life. But he's pure Filipino, and he lives on the west side, and everybody thought he was Hawaiian. He thought he was Hawaiian. It wasn't until he got to be sort of an age where you start to think about these things that he started to realize, oh wait, I'm not Hawaiian. Yeah. But that feeling is still there. That connectedness to this place is still there, and that's the part that's cool.
Do you guys know what time reference did it switch back on where people wanted to learn immersion schools and all that, the language again? Was that right around when you started going, or was
I think it started in the 70s, right?
Yeah, it was late 60s and 70s when Sunday Mono came out, and when they did Guava Jam, and that came out, and that was like, wait. What? Yeah. Because it was a weird time because Robert folks had taken these old, like kavika is a chant. Yeah. And they took the chant and they put music to it. And so the purest Hawaiians were going, what is that? And the younger ones were saying, ooh, what is that? Yeah. And so you had this interesting dichotomy of the music sort of pushing the language, because like my parents would never have listened to Hawaiian music if it wasn't for Sunday Manoa, because you would think it was all shalang-a-lang and people singing Hawaiian music that you didn't understand, but then you got these Casimeros and the Peter Moons who were like rock stars, and they're doing this Hawaiian music, and you're like, holy shit, that's amazing. And it started that whole
That's a great
thing.
timeline.
Oh,
great timeline
yeah. But it started that whole thing, man.
Even in your music, though, now you're still experimenting with a different sound using Hawaiian.
That's very true.
Music,
very
right?
true.
Yeah.
I'm in a stage where, you know, I mean, how my first album was about, you know, giving back. It's titled Wahi Mahalo, which is just to give thanks to everything that, you know, I've learned. But I'm now in that space where I want to connect those bridges, and it's really everything to do with just culture, representing culture, respecting culture, and so, you know, I'm trying to, infuse a little African American in there as well, you know, or I mean, there's so many different ways, whether it be R&B, riffs in the voice, or instrumentation, you know. So yeah.
Well, that's how the music grows and changes, right? I mean, even when I played with Dennis Kamakakehau, he liked, you know, Bob Dylan and folk music, and he'd grab his electric guitar and play stuff, and I think, over time, everybody influences everyone. That's how you get new and exciting sounds, and it's good for everyone.
What was your musical influences besides Hawaiian music when you're young?
Actually, honestly, I did not have much. It was, I feel like I started very late. However, in immersion, I mean, every morning we have to open with a chant, you know, before we get into class. We gotta, you know, so we're singing Mele Aloha Aina songs for the, you know, for our people here in Hawaii, and so that's really where it started. You know, chanting was actually something I really, took to. I just love the dynamics of the i''i and, you know, that vibrato in there. So it wasn't until high school, I would say. Yeah. Brown bags, you know, all of that. It was brown bags at the time. Then I went to Star Search.
I think that's how we had to introduce you. We're like, brown bags and stuff.
And that's when I began to explore a little bit more. And I was probably like 17 by that time. Yeah.
But your voice was so strong. I mean, not that it isn't now, but you know what I mean? When you would sing, wow, it would ring like a bell, and you go, whoa. Okay, well, there's a walk. He's coming out and he's singing.
I think the first time I was introduced to your music was I was watching YouTube randomly. Okay. And you're in a convenience store or something with ukulele.
Okay.
And you started singing, and people were walking past you buying stuff, and they would look like, oh, who's singing? You know? Yeah. And that's when I was introduced to your music and stuff.
Okay.
Like, wow, this guy's good.
Yeah, that was in San Francisco.
Oh, that wasn't here? Oh, okay.
No, my friends, Chinatown, Leah Dang and her brother. They had their shop out there. Oh. And so I happened to be there just on a little tour and stopped by their shop, and she said, oh, can you play this ukulele?
Well, when did the tours start for you? Like traveling and doing those, because you go to Japan often too, right?
I do.
Or did. And will.
I'm a little small scale in a sense. You know, I don't have all of those, like with all the halaus and, you know, that everybody else is, but I guess after my album came out, just put out more music, you know, that first one came out, and, you know, people are like, oh, wow, this is different, or finally, or, you know, something, and just went with the flow. Started building relationships and making, you know, my own little connections here and there.
So the appreciation for the Hawaiian music is family based, but more so from school then? From the immersion program?
I would say more so from school. And, you know, as in the beginning, it's like all fun, right? It's just fun. Wow, okay, I'm discovering I can sing falsetto now. What? I don't even, you know, and I tell you actually how that started. I was just sitting on a bench at school, and this is real random, but I was stretching. And then I ended up like making, you know, very Tarzan, you know, you know. And my friend and her dad was a musician, and then she's like, "Oh, wow, hey, that was pretty good. There was actually some tone to it." So I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And then one thing led to the next. I started.
Wait, imagine if you stubbed your toe.
Right?
Unreal.
Yeah, I probably would have been singing higher. Yeah, no, but that's pretty much how it started.
Wow.
And I just started, tapping into it, listening. A lot of music for me was all done by listening.
Where does the strength that you have in your falsetto, is that a learned thing? Is it something that you had naturally, and the person that sort of found you said, this is how you... Because there's people who can sing falsetto, but they sing, their falsetto is like this high sort of tinny
there's
thing.
Falsetto, and there's like Kamaka
there's falsetto, and then there's
falsetto.
what you do. Like you can push it out and really make it go. if that's a way to say it.
Yeah. I like that. Well, it really, it had just repetition, a lot of practice. When I was going home after school, should have been doing my homework, I was singing,
There's a lot of good players on Maui too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you had to like jam with some of the best of them out there.
Well, that's what's funny is I'm a musician, or music artist. I don't know what. But anyway, I never attended much jam sessions.
Oh, really?
No.
I'd imagine they'd be like, hey, come on, kids.
Strange, huh?
You can sing, not everybody can sing, so they need someone to sing.
It was
all the
only
songs.
later that I joined a lot of the, I'm like, oh, okay, well, come our house and, here's the ukulele. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was much later. In the beginning, it was just listening to the Janokiaves, Hulu Lindsay. I will say there is a kumahula, she's passed now, her name is Kiala Kukona, and she directed the Kano'eo Dance Academy from Maui, Lahaina. And she was the one really who taught me about precision, like when we're, singing, strumming our instruments or stuff like that, and harmony and stuff. So
that's
there
where
was
you
a little
your
bit
strumming style and your...
Yeah, and after that I just went on. Just pay attention and go.
Because people may not see this in the video, but he has a 6-string.
I was going to say,
ukulele.
Let's talk about this ukulele. I'm so
It's a beautiful
mesmerized
ukulele.
by it.
Yeah, this might be a
So, first of all, what brand of ukulele is it?
Yeah, shout out to Koaloha.
Koaloha.
The Okami family.
We're going to get Alan back in here.
We need more whiskey then.
We had Alan on the podcast a couple of years ago already, pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah.
He was one of the most interesting
He's fun.
episodes that we had. But, so
Nice.
so Alan and the guys made you this. And what kind of wood is that?
So we got a mix of, there's of course koa wood, and then you got mango, and it's stained. So it's, they consider this particular stain cookies and cream, which actually turns out really well because I love cookies. And then there's also zebra wood.
Oh,
Yeah.
zebra wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang, that is...
I would always say zebra too, but I guess the pronunciation
Zebra?
is zebra.
Zebra.
Really?
The zebra. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
And so did you have the idea for the ukulele, and you said, I want something...
Yeah, because you notice, I mean, it is a little... I tried to do a longer neck, but yeah, it was... I wanted to just have it represent myself as well. Also, my mother, the guidance here, because she's passed since. So, the Eva bird is very significant to our ohana. Yeah.
That's super cool, man.
Talk about that a little bit, the Eva bird in your family. What is that from?
It really was just a guide, one of those guides. I mean, you have the pueo as one, the aumakua. So it's interesting too because brother's wearing a shirt number 22. So both of my grandparents, this is a little on the dark side, but they both passed on the 22nd.
Oh, wow.
And then on that day, there was actually 22 Eva birds that happened to be flying, which was very, very rare.
Yeah, it's very rare.
But they were flying over Haleakala.
Whoa.
Usually they're by the coast.
Usually when you see them, there's a storm coming, right, or something.
Yeah. And for us, that's really what it was. Our matriarchs passing.
Yeah. On the same day?
So actually, it was interesting because my grandmother passed in April, and then 5 months later, then my grandfather did, but it was on the 22nd as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's that became that significance. Another family member of ours. So we kind of just utilize, it's like that spirit animal they would always share that, they love the Eva bird. So we kind of took on that.
How big is your family?
Well,
Fernandez.
Well, there's
I know, yeah.
more than Naiole.
It's like Smith out here.
Yeah. Well, the Fernandez, there's a few of them on Lanai, but my mother's side is Naiole.
Oh, well.
So
that's like Jones.
We're on every island. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like the Jones and the Cabrals and the
Yeah.
You name it. Yeah.
When did you move to Oahu?
2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been here a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And the new music that you're working on, are you recording it now, or are you just kind of starting to put? Oh, you're recording
I'm in the studio. Yeah, I'm in the studio now. I just started.
And so you're saying that you're trying to infuse other types of genres within it, but is it going to be like a Hawaiian-based album with other genres, or are you going to be doing other genres?
No, it's going to be Hawaiian-based.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Just because that is more my foundation musically. So we'll keep it there.
For now.
We'll keep it there for now.
Yeah. So it's like for now is at the end of
that.
And we're gonna, But that's neat. I mean, it's cool that you're letting your influences sort of, mix and match, and you're feeling free to do that with your music. That's awesome.
Yeah, and some other different styles of instruments and sounds. Being that's a healing source is sound. So I was introduced to that space drum thing.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a little Caribbean, but yeah. It's
and
cool.
who are you recording with?
With Dave Tucheron.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Dave is great, and he works with all the best. So
yes.
And these are all your own compositions?
Yeah, I'll be doing a few covers as well.
And the primary instrument is your ukulele?
Ukulele, yeah.
Do you remember your first ukulele?
Do I remember my first ukulele?
What was it?
It was actually a mele ukulele. So after winning the falsetto contest, that's when I kind of, got a little. They wanted to, play my ukulele. So mele ukulele was the first to approach. They're on Maui, and that compilation album that we did with Hula Records. That's the first time I ever used it.
What year was that?
2003.
2003. So CDs were still around back then.
And in your opinion, what do you think? How do you feel this musical scene is gonna?
I don't know, man.
Transition.
I've been trying. What's really, I'm so confused because, back in you're a little younger than me, but back in my day, you would plan for your album, you would drop an album, you'd go and promote the album.
Mm-hmm.
That was the process.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But and
in
now
the podcast that we didn't put out, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
just saying.
Yeah. But now it's people don't buy albums. They don't buy CDs. That's for sure. So your album is just a digital thing that you try to promote, but then people listen to your music in all types of ways because there's certain people that listen to the Hisessions versions of certain songs, right? Versus the recorded version. So, and then every song now needs a video that you got to put out with it. And then, there's like bands like The Green who are huge and they tour the mainland, but I don't know exactly what they're doing out there. But, it's all over the place. I have no idea.
Yeah.
We were just telling him because over the pandemic he's been recording again with Pure Heart, an album.
Right.
And it's still in the process.
Waiting for them to put out the album.
I told him, brother, you don't need to wait till you get all these songs to throw it out there. Why don't you just release singles during the time when you finish, you just release one, and then the end of it all, then you have an album.
Because that's what I think Maui just did a release of his new stuff, and it was single.
Josh too.
Single. Yeah, and Josh, same thing, right? They release the singles and they see how the singles
follow what the
it's almost like
guys are doing.
It's almost like the Asian style of doing it, because Koreans, Japanese, that's how they used to do it. They send out the singles and they see how the singles do, and if the single does well, they'll do another single.
Yeah, like BTS, right?
Yeah, BTS does the same thing.
See, I guess the difference is I came from a generation where the album told a story, or there was a certain flow to the album.
Yeah.
John,
these are over.
You old, bro.
These are over.
Oh, well, see, but
so much older than he is.
I thought that's the way it's supposed to be.
Right, but even Kamaka, when it comes to Hawaiian music too, there's sometimes you do a theme, you're writing about something within, and so to release them as singles, it throws off the story.
Well, is there a storyline in your album?
Not
really, right? You're not doing American Idiot, Green Day, or anything like that.
Is it a
what
montage?
Is the theme for the new Pure Heart album?
Is that what it's called?
No, but you know, like I do certain songs based on like because you want a couple fast ones and then a slow. Like you think about it like
doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Flow don't matter anymore.
Doesn't even matter anymore.
I think artists who've been doing music for a long time, they all are lamenting the loss of that. The idea that you would be able to do an album that has a beginning and has an end, and there's a flow and it makes sense, and you go, and not even saying that the songs necessarily are related to each other, but the feeling that you get off the album, right? Like if you like an album like Boston's album, their first album. Right, from the beginning to the end, you get a specific feeling. Hawaii in the Middle of the Sea, Brothers Casimiro. If you listen to that album out of sequence, it feels weird because even though the songs don't necessarily all match up with each other, there's a definite beginning and a definite middle and a definite end. But now a lot of people are just throwing that thing up on a wall and it sticks.
But I'm assuming the performance side of it, when you're performing that album, then you put it the flow into the performance.
Yeah,
John's gonna be grumpy old man here.
Fast.
But I will say that being super niche is the way to go now. You know, so if you're a Hawaiian artist, then you should do your Hawaiian stuff. You know, because if you start veering off, people get confused and.
Well, have you ever veered off just for experimental sake and fun?
Not yet.
but I'd love to.
He's been waiting.
Funny
you should mention.
Because I have several different songs that I wrote over the pandemic that you know, it's more conscious thinking kind songs. You know.
Can you play one for us after this?
But it's not even. With
we won't even
That's the weird thing. It's not even with my ukulele.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't even know.
What is it with?
It's just
synthesizers and
or singing or
just singing and beats. I hear beats, you know, like but I can't hit the table. But yeah, it's like, you know, what was one of them is like oh gosh. Well, maybe it is kind of island, but I come from a land in the middle of the sea. You know, and it's like, and it's a place that many have thought of me not to be. Whether it's the color of my skin or the language that I speak, all I can say is, it's aloha in my veins.
That's something new right
Something
now.
like that.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I forget what I said.
No steal, man. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
John, next Pure Heart song.
Yeah, actually, maybe it would be a great collaboration.
There you go.
Hello.
Something big is brewing right now, guys.
Just let us know.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
Lopako put.
Especially because Lopaka with what he can add. Jake, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Come on, I just gave me chicken skin.
I'm down.
Yeah, do it.
I kind of regret what I just said. You should veer off a little bit. Do some other stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta show your other talents, man.
No, but I think nowadays people they want to like more just connect with the artist on a personal level versus just buying an album. And I don't know.
So yeah, some like the tangible, you know, something they can take home and read through the, you know.
Right.
The liner notes and whatnot.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of like something that we can give out at the concerts or something physical, you know, but the physical is just going away by the wayside.
Cut off some of your hair and give that you get that little mop top thing happening. We can just take a little bit off the top and put that in envelopes or something.
I'll give a little booklet with your lyrics in it and maybe the chords so that people can learn it.
Chords would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess BTS has like just a million posters.
Oh, dude, Is your daughter into BTS or your wife?
Both.
Both of them are? Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, because then you got to buy the box. I mean, that's the other thing. Like the local artists could actually learn a lot from the packaging because you buy the album that's got the picture book in it and it's got the little poster.
And the picture
we're not gonna do.
I don't know. They could.
Well,
Jake's actually looking less nerdy now. So
I told you the Town and Country story.
He's got like a killer haircut thing, and now he's
we'll
wearing
make a
contacts.
costume for you, man. A costume.
John, you will always look. You will always have that look of surprise,
story,
though.
Right?
The Town and Country story?
Yeah.
Oh, before we stole you away.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the story?
Oh, so before we were sponsored by Hawaiian Style at one time. That's how I met Kyle.
Okay.
But before that, we were with Town and Country, for just a limited run. And I remember like they gave us a bunch of clothes, and they're like, we want to take pictures of you guys in the clothes. So we're like, oh, okay. So they took just a picture of us, and then they were like, oh, we got to get the board shorts. Can you guys like lift up your shirt just so that we can get the shorts, They're like, okay. And then so I lift up my shirt, and they're like, let's try Lopaka. and then they went there, they're like, never mind, we'll get the models to do it. They freaking just totally just... I love it. Yeah. They totally just said, forget it, guys.
Is this really for the clothing store, or is it for the calendar?
What happened? You forgot to shave the hair off your pico that day or something?
I guess. I don't know what the problem was.
It's probably super white, and they went, whoa, I don't think we can...
Yeah. They're like, this is not going to sell clothes. So,
but you can sing, and that's the main thing.
I knew at that time my modeling days were over.
Yeah. Well, let me just say congratulations to all that you've accomplished. Like,
thanks, man.
You're solo artists, as a group, and I've really been inspired by your folks' music as well.
Look at that.
Thank you.
He always gets really embarrassed.
I know, you're making me feel really...
He doesn't know what to do with it.
I got to think of a question.
I was curious. I noticed your ukuleles, from the time that you've been playing them, you don't work with a pickup.
Oh, no, there's a pickup.
Does that have a pickup on it? Yeah. Oh, okay, it does. Oh, there it is in the bottom. Yeah. Okay, because I was like... Because I remember one time you came... And I think you had just your regular ukulele.
In the beginning. In the beginning,
yeah.
Yes.
That's how long I've known you and seen you play. Like you showed up and we went. I think it was Royal Hawaiian Center.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have Kamaka here, and we're gonna have him play. And he came up and we went.
Yeah. We need another mic.
Yeah. So I had to hold my microphone down.
That was so rookie.
Oh, really?
But actually, I think I was using at that time. It may have been it was a kolo, I think.
Was it a kolo?
Was it kolo? Because I think that's what we were there for.
Yeah,
but I was playing Ken Potts is another ukulele creator from Lahaina, and he didn't make any of his ukuleles with pickups. Oh. So I had to do the whole thing.
But you were playing, you played loud. Part of it is because you don't have a pickup. But that was the thing about it, was the strumming that you were doing was just furious. And I was like, wow. So the sound that would come out of that tiny little thing, I was always really impressed. And then, you had to sing louder than that. So I don't know if that was just more of a form or a function thing, or just how you learned how to play
how did you learn?
Honestly, it really... So I first picked up the ukulele when I was in fifth grade. And, just from there, I just kind of kept playing. But that strumming was probably just a mixture of nerves. And I got to get through this freaking song. So I'm going to just go for broke. Honestly, I had no mentor to teach me how to get on stage. What do I do? How do I, it's just all by watching. Wow. And picking up and practicing and just playing from the heart, really.
And by the way, for those of you who aren't quite sure exactly what we're talking about when he was speaking about the falsetto contest, Frank Bishaner opened up this contest to people. And it was...
It's the Richard OPE one, right?
Well, Richard OPE, but Frank started
the
thing. Yeah, that's how old I am. But
I never get accepted for that one. That's okay.
But it was, the idea was to not just push Hawaiian music, but push Hawaiian music without amplification. So when you had to play it, you had to play, and you had to be loud enough to be heard in an auditorium, and that.
No mics.
Yeah, there's no mics. You're playing with. That's why when I watched him play, I went, oh yeah, I can see why he won, because the strumming is so big that it moves the sound out, right? Because most people when they're playing ukulele, you're just sort of playing by yourself. You're playing to yourself. You can sort of pluck out things and fool around. When you're playing on that stage, you got nothing. It's you and a ukulele and your voice, and you got to be able to push all that out. So when he won the thing, you knew he had skills. And so to have him take that and parlay it and push it forward, and to the place where you're at now, is really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And when you think of the Ho'opi'i brothers too, right? They are known for Kahakuloa, family from Kahakuloa, and they singing in that valley, and that was it. It was no amplification, that was hearing the pure form of the unnatural sound of a kane, But so there's a lot of great influences.
I have a question about Maui. So if someone were to visit Maui, someone to go there, what would be your recommendations of places they should go?
Are we talking like anything? Food?
Like food, or is there some place? Because I always talk about Restaurant Matsu, because they have the best fried chicken I've ever tasted.
Restaurant what?
Matsu.
Oh.
I have no affiliation with them.
That's on Maui?
Yeah, it's right by the airport. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Japanese restaurant, but they do this fried chicken. It's so good. My wife turned me on to it. I told Roy about it.
Yeah.
And he hasn't gone yet because I ran into Denise. I'm like, have you gone to Restaurant Matsu yet? And she's like, what? She didn't remember.
We're old, though. We don't remember stuff.
Yeah. Oh, this sounds new.
But restaurant or location or something,
Well, I just went to Maui. Prior to the Ukulele Festival, I was there for a wedding.
Okay.
And there's this place called Jack's Inn. It's a good family restaurant, and it's right there in Kahului, not too far from the airport. It's kind of in that like industrial.
Jack's. I've never been to Jack's.
Where Ace Hardware is.
I know where that is.
But it's good. Yeah, that's a good place. But Sam Sato's.
Oh, Sam Sato's.
Sam Sato's in Wailuku, number 1.
That's the dry min, right?
Yeah, dry min. Yeah, they got if you like manju, they got, they're known for their manju.
That's true.
And then for a little on the sweet side, now Komoda Bakery would be usually is the first place I'd recommend. I don't know that they're still open yet, but now I'm going to say Ululani Shave Ice.
Oh.
Right across Baldwin High School on the corner.
Yeah. We go there every time. Yeah, that's good over
there.
You
gotta go to that chocolate place.
What about the Goody Goody?
Goody Goody too.
Tasaka.
Tasaka Goody Goody.
But they have like a chocolate shop where they make like dark chocolate with sea salt inside.
Oh.
And they make dark chocolate mochi, and I'm trying to remember what the name of the place is.
Huh. No,
but
this is new now to me.
Fantastic. Place is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So the other place I work at, I'll get the name of it.
Yeah, please.
But when they bring that stuff back, they even make these little
I like dark chocolate
mints, dark chocolate mints. Unreal. I'm gonna get in
serious
trouble for not
You go to
remembering.
Maui pretty soon, right?
Yeah, December.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want the dark chocolate.
Bring back to him.
What? And then the mochi. Bring back some dark chocolate mochi.
This guy.
I'm just saying, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta put in the order.
Yeah.
Ask, get, bro.
Yeah.
Now, when you're there, do you shop at Whole Foods, Sack and Save, or Safeway?
Sack and Save.
Sack and Save.
Yeah, because actually it was right around the corner from our family house in Paku Kalo.
Oh, there's no local grocery store you can promote.
Sack and Save is a local grocery store.
It is.
Yeah,
That's
equivalent to like KTA
Food and Sack and Save, right?
Big Island.
Yeah.
Okay. Correct. Yeah, just like KTA. Yeah, so I would walk right up the road.
Oh, you're right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, okay. And I know what high school you went to. Yes, I was gonna ask you, are you Baldwin or Maui? But you
gotta. People who are listening don't know. Right?
Which high
school?
Did
you mention that part?
Oh yeah. What high school did you go to?
Sorry, King Ke Kaulike. King Ke.
Yes, with the Hawaiian immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, when I was in high school, I'm a Japanese kid from Hawaii Kai, but where I went to high school, we had some Hawaiians there that, came from Waimanalo side or whatever, and they were the most nice, accepting group. They're intimidating to me because I'm a small little kid, but these are big guys, But once they saw I played the ukulele and I was interested in the music and stuff, it was just like, come on, brother, sit down here. They would sing with me, and it made me love the music and the culture even more. Just the acceptance.
Absolutely, I could agree with that. Again, later on is when I started getting a little more, welcomed or invited to. The little Kanikapila sessions. Remember meeting Lukela from Ekolu the first time. It was in one of the studios there in Paukukalo. But yeah, just love his heart. He was always like that, one of my biggest supporters there.
And that guy can sing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay. We've come to this part of the podcast Kamaka, and
I love it.
He always does this weird like vocal change when it comes to this part, and I'm like, what is happening right now? Makes it sound like we're gonna give out secrets.
John has the smoothest segues there is on the internet.
And now we come to the part.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Wait, can we ask him about the shirt just in case he wants to mention something?
Yeah, sure.
Oh. Yeah, no, this shirt here, Leadership Summit. I just came back from Salt Lake City. It was a leadership convention for the company that I'm working with.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah. I mean, I could go into detail. Basically, so I mean, we as musicians, we all know, right? I mean, I've been told all my life that we need to have a different form of of work.
Right.
But of course, here we are. Now we experience the pandemic. Everybody's getting used to working at home. So, I had to think about what was that going to be. For you, it's real estate. For me, it's gold and silver. Yeah. So I was just helping people, understand how to.
We're gonna talk after this then.
Yeah.
Wait, you go, and we go, huh?
Right. So that's exactly it. It's helping educate people on how they can invest their money. A lot of people go into crypto, of course, and it depends on when you go in the market, and if you're ready for that. And if you went in earlier,
you're really unhappy right now. But
yeah. So just.
I've been contemplating picking up some gold and silver.
Yeah.
So we'll
there you go.
It's an inflation hedge.
What?
Inflation hedge.
Inflation hedge.
When the government starts printing a ton of money, then lowering the value of the dollar.
Every so often, John, you show off your brain, and it trips me off. Right? I don't know.
It's just interesting.
There's all this stuff you learn, and I go, what?
You know what I wish they had? I wish they had gold in Hawaii where you could pan for it.
Oh, you have done.
Get by my house. Come. $5.
What?
Well, Hawaii is actually one of the largest holders of gold in the world that a lot of people don't know about.
Really?
Until now. I mean, it's all over. It's been broadcast.
Well, why is that?
But, I mean, because Kamehameha, when all the sailors and stuff, they came through, they would, have to drop off some, some
their trade
that payment. So,
interesting. Okay, we'll talk. But
we come to the point of the show.
Yeah, if you were stranded on a desert island and you could only take 3 albums with you to listen to for the rest of eternity, what would those 3 albums be?
Sunday Manoa.
Okay. Which one though?
Guava Jam.
Okay. Excellent choice.
Yeah, and
we have it.
No, Crack Seed.
Crack Seed. Yeah.
I would have to take that live Willie and Amy CD.
Oh wow.
And is this a trick question?
No.
Are you waiting for me to say Pure Heart?
No.
Definitely not.
You've had people say Iron Maiden and all kinds of stuff, so don't worry. You say whatever you like.
Lena Girl had one of the ones that was most surprising. I forgot what she said.
Yeah, she said Iron Maiden or Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We all went,
the metalhead.
Right on.
Didn't realize you were into that kind of music.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just you learn about people.
And then anything from Stevie Wonder.
Oh yeah, he's probably the most common. Yeah, everybody loves Stevie.
Ooh, you singing some Stevie Wonder would be kind of interesting.
Actually, that would be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I actually do. Yeah, I sing.
Maybe we'll have that for the Patreons.
Yeah, Patreon section special.
Somebody will have to play. So I'm not very instrument
savvy.
Yeah. I mean, I only play the ukulele, and I probably can bang a few drums, but
John can learn the guitar.
Yeah. So usually I have I just call to say I love you. I've been doing that a lot. On the shows, okay. So Al Green as well.
Wow. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's stay together.
Where can people find you to listen to your music right now?
Yeah. So actually, we're at Board Riders in Kailua. Used to be the old Jared's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then at the Hyatt Regency, most Thursday nights.
Okay.
Is it just a duo, trio?
Duo at the Hyatt and a trio at the Board Riders.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. That's every Tuesday and Thursday.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta get a gig too. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a short break. Come back with our Patreon in just a second. See ya, YouTubers.